Most riders spend thousands on a new bike and then ride it exactly as it came from the factory. Stock handlebars, stock lighting, stock everything. And that's fine. Honda, Kawasaki, and Yamaha know what they're doing. But here's the thing they won't tell you at the dealership. Manufacturers build bikes to a price. Every component on a new motorcycle is the result of a cost decision, not a performance decision. Which means that for under $100, you can fix what the accountants built in. Today we're breaking down 5 upgrades that most riders walk straight past, and why each one makes a bigger difference than anything you'd spend 10 times the money on. Number 1 is the one that surprises every rider who tries it. Let's get into it. Number 5, high flow air filter. The air filter is the most overlooked performance upgrade on any motorcycle. It sits under the seat or behind a panel, nobody sees it, and the factory one works well enough that most riders never think about it. That's exactly why it's on this list. Stock air filters are designed to meet emissions requirements and service interval targets. They're not designed to flow as much air as your engine can use. A high-flow aftermarket filter, brands like K&N or Unifilter, replaces the paper element with an oiled cotton gauze that flows significantly more air while still filtering effectively. The result is a throttle response that feels more immediate and an engine that breathes more freely through the mid-range. It's not dramatic. It's the kind of improvement you feel on the first ride and then can't unfeel. The cost? Between $40 and $70 for most models. Installation takes 20 minutes and a screwdriver. It's washable and reusable, so the factory paper filter you'd replace every service interval is now a one-time cost. Think of it as the upgrade that pays for itself. The engine gets more air, you get more response, and you never buy another paper filter again. The next upgrade is so simple, it almost feels like cheating. Number 4, throttle tube upgrade. The stock throttle tube on most motorcycles is functional. It returns to closed, it doesn't stick, it does its job. What it doesn't do is make the throttle feel good to use. Most stock tubes have enough slack and mechanical resistance that the first quarter of throttle travel feels vague. You're not sure if the engine is responding or not. Over a long ride, that vagueness is tiring. A shorty throttle tube, sometimes called a quick action throttle, reduces the rotation required to go from closed to fully open. Instead of a full wrist rotation, you're working with a smaller arc. The throttle feels more direct, more confident, and less fatiguing on long stints. Track riders use them because lap times improve when throttle control is more precise. Street riders use them because wrist fatigue on a long highway run is real, and reducing the rotation required genuinely helps. Cost is between $15 and $40 depending on the brand and your bike's fitment. Installation is straightforward. The throttle housing comes apart with 2 screws on most bikes. 15 minutes of work. The difference on the first ride is immediate. It's one of those upgrades that makes you wonder why the factory didn't just do this in the first place. The answer, again, is cost. Number 3, LED lighting upgrade. Stock motorcycle lights were not built with your safety in mind. They were built to pass the minimum legal requirements at the lowest possible cost. A stock halogen headlight on a mid-range motorcycle puts out enough light to be legal. It does not put out enough light to give you confidence riding at night on an unlit road. LED bulb replacements for most motorcycle headlights now cost between $25 and $60 and are a direct swap for the factory halogen unit. The light output difference is not subtle. A quality LED conversion produces 2 to 3 times the lumens of a stock halogen. The road ahead is brighter, the beam pattern is crisper, and cars approaching from side streets see you earlier. That last point is the one worth sitting with. Visibility is not just about what you can see, it's about who can see you. Auxiliary LED pods for additional forward lighting run $50 to $90 for a pair and mount to handlebars or crash bars. The Rigid Industries Radiance pods at around $85 to $90 produce 1,500 lumens each and are built tough enough for off-road use. For adventure and dual sport riders especially, Adding auxiliary lighting is one of the most practical safety upgrades available at any price. The road doesn't care how fast your bike is. Light it properly. Quick pause. If you've done a cheap upgrade that transformed how your bike feels, drop it in the comments right now. The best tips on this channel come from riders, not spec sheets. Subscribe to The Wise Rider if you haven't already, because the top 2 on this list are the ones that genuinely surprised us. Number 2. Bar end mirrors. This one sits at the intersection of safety, ergonomics, and aesthetics, and it costs less than a tank of fuel. Stock mirrors on most motorcycles are an afterthought. They vibrate at certain RPMs. They're mounted at the wrong angle for the rider's natural eye line. And on naked bikes and adventure tours, they stick out wide enough to catch every obstacle in a car park. Bar end mirrors replace the factory unit with a mirror that mounts directly into the end of the handlebar. The result is a mirror that sits lower, closer to the rider's natural line of sight, and vibrates significantly less because it's mounted to the bar end rather than a stock that amplifies engine vibration. The image in the mirror is cleaner and easier to read, especially at speed. Cost is between $20 and $60 for a quality pair. Brands like Rizoma and Highsider make excellent units at the higher end of that range. Fitting takes about 30 minutes and requires nothing more than an Allen key and removing the existing bar end weights. Every rider who has made this switch says the same thing. The mirrors they ignored for years suddenly become mirrors they actually use. That's a safety upgrade disguised as an aesthetic one. Number 1. Gel Seat Pad. Here's the upgrade nobody wants to admit they need, and the one that changes more rides than any other item on this list. Seat discomfort is the number 1 reason riders cut trips short. Not fuel range, not weather, not fatigue in the hands or wrists, the seat. And the factory seat on most production motorcycles is built to look good on the showroom floor, not to support a rider for 4 hours on a motorway. A gel seat pad sits over the factory seat and distributes pressure across a wider surface area. It sounds basic because it is basic. The gel conforms to the rider's shape and eliminates the pressure points that cause numbness and discomfort on longer rides. The difference between a 1-hour comfort threshold and a 3-hour comfort threshold on a stock seat is often a $30 to $60 gel pad. That's it. For riders who tour or commute regularly, this is the highest return on investment of any upgrade on this list. The Airhawk Pad, the most recommended option in long-distance touring communities, runs around $80 to $90 and is the closest thing to a universal fix for seat discomfort across any bike. Riders who have ridden transcontinental routes swear by it. Your backside is in contact with the bike every single second you're riding. It deserves more than a foam pad that costs the manufacturer $8 to produce. The best upgrade is the one that keeps you riding longer. This one does exactly that. 5 upgrades, under $100 each. The total cost of all 5 combined is less than a single service at most dealers. The air filter makes your engine breathe. The throttle tube makes your right hand more precise. The LED upgrade makes you visible. The bar end mirrors make looking back effortless. The gel pad makes everything longer possible. Manufacturers build to a price. You don't have to ride to one. That's what the Wise Rider is here for. Subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.